Hello, darlings. Violet Nocturne here. Tonight's tale slithers through the arteries of our city's underground, where fluorescent lights flicker like dying stars, and the last train carries more than just weary souls home. Draw closer, my pets. I have such delicious horrors to share. Meet Kara, a small figure hurrying through the dying hours of night, her cafe apron still dusted with coffee grounds, her phone dead, a final betrayal of modern convenience. The digital clock above the turnstile blinks 12:47 a.m., 13 minutes until the last train. The station breathes around her. Yes, breathes. If you've ever stood alone on a subway platform after midnight, you know that sound. The way the tunnels exhale stale wind, how the tiles seem to pulse with memories of a million footsteps. A vending machine flickers in the corner, its light strobing like a distress signal. Or perhaps a warning. Something scurries in the darkness of the tunnel, too big for a rat, too quick for a human. Kara clutches her bag closer, fighting the urge to run. The platform lights dim, then surge, then dim again, like something massive is drawing power from them, drawing strength. Finally, the train arrives, but not with the usual screech of metal on metal. No, this train slides in silently, like a serpent approaching its prey. Only one door opens, the fifth car. Inside, the fluorescent lights pulse in a rhythm that seems almost deliberate, like a heartbeat or a message. Kara hesitates. Every instinct screams at her to wait for another train. But this is the last one, and the 3-mile walk home takes her through neighborhoods where the streetlights gave up years ago. So she steps aboard, the door whispering shut behind her with a sound like a satisfied sigh. That's when she notices him. A man at the far end of the car, sitting so still he might be carved from shadow. His clothes are wrong. Not obviously at first, but the cut, the fabric, they belong to a different decade. His head is tilted downward, face hidden, hands folded in his lap. He doesn't move, doesn't breathe. Kara looks away, her heart hammering against her ribs. Count the stops, she thinks. Just 5 stops. 4 after the next one. 3 after. The train plunges into darkness. Not the usual momentary blackout between stations, but something deeper, thicker. A darkness with weight. When the lights return, he's gone. But no, not gone. He's closer now. 3 seats away, still motionless, still looking down. His clothes seem older now, the fabric rotting, green with age. A thin line of dark liquid trails from under his seat to the center pole. The train shudders. The lights flicker again, and in that instant, she sees others. Dozens of them, seated throughout the car, all in various states of decay, all perfectly still, all facing forward. How had she not noticed them before? Another flicker. He's moved again. 1 seat away now, and in the strobing light, she finally sees his face. Or rather, where his face should be. Instead, there's only smooth, blank skin, interrupted by a single dark hole that opens like a wound. And from that hole comes a sound. The click, click, click of turnstiles long abandoned, the screech of trains that never arrived, the echoing footsteps of passengers who never reached their destination. Kara screams, but the sound is swallowed by the hungry dark. She lunges for the emergency brake, but her hand passes through it like smoke. The station signs blur past outside, but they're not the usual stops. These signs bear names she's never seen before, names that shouldn't exist. Terminal station, last stop, end of line. No return. The underneath. The thing that was once a man turns its blank face toward her, and that horrible hole begins to stretch wider, wider, until it could swallow her whole. and behind him, all the other passengers raise their heads in unison, revealing the same featureless faces, the same hungry voids. "Welcome," they whisper in voices like rusted rails and forgotten stations. "Welcome to the last train, the very last train, the one that never reaches morning." They stand as one, their movements jerky, wrong, like puppets with tangled strings. And Kara realizes, with a horror that freezes her soul, that she can't remember which stop was hers, can't remember where she was going, can't remember how long she's been here. The lights flicker one final time. And now, my darling listeners, next time you're rushing to catch that last train home, pay attention to your fellow passengers. Look closely at their faces, and if you notice someone sitting too still, looking down, wearing clothes that seem just slightly out of time, well, perhaps it's better to walk. After all, not all trains are meant to reach their destination, and some passengers never leave at all.